Welcome to a new episode of What Did You Miss? This is episode 14, and to start things off, I want to go over my playthrough of Mega Neptunia, which I've been doing off stream, so you guys have missed pretty much everything. I will be streaming Shin Megami Tensei for 1 week, and if the average viewer count is decent, I will continue to stream it, but I did not get an average viewer count for playing this particular RPG, so Mega Dimension Neptunia V2, so I'm not going to continue streaming this, but I still want to cover it during the What Did You Miss episodes, because why not? So last time we went over this, we talked about how we finished the story for Zero Dimension. So that was like the first game in Mega Dimension Neptunia that we beat. Then we had this new one with the gold third people, and so there was a tournament, and of course the goddesses, it was a fighting tournament. The goddesses were doing great, and then like the gold third actually crashed the tournament, sort of, like they weren't really officially supposed to be there, but they were allowed to fight the goddesses, and they won. And for some reason, they wanted to make it impossible for you to win, so their stats were redonkulous. And so we kind of already went over this probably last episode, but I went through Blanc's story, so we won't go over this too much this time, I think. But I started with hers. They gave us like 4 different characters' stories, and this is what the final dungeon of the story looks like. The other areas, it has different colors. So and I feel like maybe I showed all of this stuff, but I'm not sure what I did or didn't show. Anyway, okay, and then we had Neptunia Story, and so she was fighting with Kompa and Ive, but she sent Nepgear away to go help out the other gal, and there isn't really a whole lot to talk about. It wasn't really the most interesting story, but we had, this was one of the Shaw characters, the gold third people, the one on the far right there. But she didn't really look like a lot of the other ones, because she was, like, so tiny. Anyway, this character reminds me of Mint quite a bit, and more so in this game, I guess, maybe than in the first Neptunia game that I played. Oh, here's one of the combo attacks, so I'm sure I haven't shown this to you guys yet. So might as well watch this real quick. So she actually uses a gun, but her sister uses a sword, so that's kind of interesting. That kind of looks like a Kamehameha wave. Oops. Okay, yeah, so, and then there's some other pictures of the characters. So you can actually dress her up so she doesn't have to wear black. I actually like the white and pink outfit better, but the green one looks pretty good too. I definitely like her red outfit. I think that looks pretty nice. And I actually gave her some ribbons for her hair that were red instead. So, oh yeah, and the story was really weird too. It got pretty different sometimes, and sometimes it was kind of similar. Apparently they made Keisha be, like, into girls or something. Like, I'm pretty sure she was, like, kind of like a lesbian, but, like, Noadu is kind of not a lesbian or whatever, but there's, like, some weird humor or something about her leading Keisha on accidentally or something. I don't know. Anyway, and then there's this stuff with, them trying to get, like, 1 million people to be sacrificed, apparently, or something, and she was going to be one of them, but for whatever reason she doesn't get transformed into a piggy. Apparently everyone gets transformed into pigs. I'm not sure what that's all about. Anyways, so that was but we didn't really know about this at the very beginning of the story, of course. And then there's the, you know, talking about her being a gamer again, like more so than the other characters. She's very obsessed about games. And that's what those two look like when they transform. And here's one of their attacks. together. So yeah, Nepgear wanted to help her out, and so Belle got pretty possessive of her, being like, she's my sister, and blah blah blah. I think this is one of the attacks that's not particularly impressive, at least in my opinion. You could dress her up to look like this, which I think looks quite a bit better. It also looks more modest in any case. I like the color scheme. It looks really nice. This is one of the dungeons. I started taking pictures of some of the dungeons. They got some weird vending machine stuff going on here. These are like supposed to be like arcade machines or something. Some of them look like they're somewhat busted. You could sort of like make out some text on some of these screens. Continue if enter is pushed, blah blah blah. So that looks kind of interesting. And then there's, okay, so this character normally has red eyes on the left, but it's showing, and so which matches her top, whatever you call that, jacket thingy, vest thingy. Anyway, but sometimes her eyes turn green, and there's an interesting reason why that is. Anyway, that's what that dungeon looks like. There was another one where it was pretty monochrome. It was like gray, black, and white, or whatever. And then we have scouts, you know, that are like, well, I didn't really take more pictures of scouts, but this one was called Toady, and it has like red blotches in their hair, like circular ones. It's like really weird looking, but it's meant to look like Mario stuff. There's a lot of like, sort of like, I don't know what you want to call it exactly, but references. There's references to a lot of Mario games in the series. Oh, and I went and took some pictures of what I decided to dress up the characters as. So normally her outfit is a lot harsher on the eyes, I would say, so I just made it easier to look at with the black and white and gray and all that. And that's the weapon she's been wielding. And for this character, I decided to keep her main outfit the same, but like her head outfit is different. So she's wearing a hat and glasses she normally wouldn't wear. And there's the red ribbon in her hair like I was talking about earlier for that character. And then here's Blanc. I didn't really do much here other than I changed her head part, so she's wearing a ribbon in her hair instead of whatever she normally does, I guess a hat or something. Yeah. There's her look, which we already saw. Also, by the way, I just want to mention, her weapon is really powerful. I used a rare item that I got to upgrade it. I don't know how else I'm supposed to get more copies of that item to upgrade more weapons. So most of the time I don't really upgrade weapons in this game so far. Maybe that means I'm still early in the game, but I'm not sure if that's really the case or not. But anyway, here's one of the big bad guys. Apparently he was being talked to by a gal with a really sexy voice, and I think we find out eventually who that is. At the beginning of the next game in Mega Dimension V2. But anyway, this is like his text. He talks about how he loves money, blah blah blah. And then the gold third people help out the 4 CPUs. So they managed to get the Book Fairy to take their powers and combine it with the 4 CPU's powers. So then they're able to transform again to like a higher level. And so this is what they look like. So I would say Blackheart probably changes the most, sort of. So I took a picture of that. And Purple Heart looks pretty interesting too, so I took a picture of that as well. Anyway, and so this is what the third game is called. Heart Dimension Neptunia H. Trilogy Finale into Legend. And that's where we're at. So at the moment, there hasn't really been much that's happened, but Uzume there seems to be like a little bit of confusion because, okay, so at some point we seemed to encounter a villainous Neptune, and now we seem to be encountering a villainous Uzume. So I don't know if the Neptune is the same person or not, but we haven't seen the other little fairy, the book fairy that Neptune was carrying around, the one that travels through dimensions or whatever. We haven't seen that person, even though we saw that Neptune. So anyway, but so there's a different person. I'm pretty sure her voice is different. I actually want to review this. Because I'm pretty sure it's not the same voice. It's just crazy. Maybe it is. I don't know. It could be the same voice actress. I guess it didn't take very many recordings of her talking. Of course, that's a different voice. I mean, it might be the same voice actress, but... Yeah, see, this is Umio talking, unfortunately. But I'm sure we could get some footage from previous, from when I was actually streaming the game. Anyway, so there seems to be somebody that is an Uzume imposter as a villain that we have to fight now, even though we defeated Afe Mohax or whatever his name is. So we're kind of at a point where there's like some back and forth, like they can't decide who we're controlling yet. I probably should have taken some pictures by now. But at the moment, I'm still in Dimension G or whatever, Hyper Dimension, even though I loaded up the new game. So it's kind of weird. I'm not sure exactly what's going on. But the story is a little bit confusing right now. But the imposter Uzume has captured the 4 CPUs. It made us control them, only them for a while, because it actually let us do the coupling stuff, because we had like 10 characters, and so you could have only like 2 people not be in the party, and you could switch between the 4 main characters, the front and the back line, and that was really cool. It was interesting. And then they took that mechanic away due to story reasons, and so now we're like the 4 CPU candidates, I guess. We're the 2 they're Blanc sisters, and we're also Black Hearts and Purple Hearts sisters. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. We're just kind of running around trying to figure out what to do, and it's not particularly confusing how to advance the story, but there's a lot of side quests that I can be doing, and it's hard to avoid doing side quests. Like, I don't know. I think my character's kind of like always overpowered or something right now. Just dumb. I've probably been doing too many side quests, but anyway, that's enough of that. I already talked about it for like 13 minutes. Okay, that wasn't too terrible. Anyway, so let's get back to talking about what I actually streamed though now, because there's not really anything else to talk about here, I think. Don't even have more screenshots, so. Now, I made some highlights, so they should be done processing. I bet if I hit the refresh tab, they will be done. Yeah, it doesn't really take very long to process, generally speaking. Let's go to my channel, the videos tab, and then filter by highlights. So we took these highlights 20 minutes ago. So we have a Mario Maker 2 highlight and then 4 LeveLHead highlights. I played them all yesterday, actually, all this stuff. So there's more stuff other than what was highlighted, but not much more really. Most of what you'll see here that wasn't highlighted was from the first power build that I played, which was in between the Mario Maker content and the LeveLHead content that was highlighted. Anyways, it took me a little while to fix up the stream. I was making some changes, blah, blah, blah. We now have a sub-goal thingy on screen, and then I kind of moved this over to here. I decided for Mario Maker, I was going to move the camera over here because we don't have that potentially super long list for LeveLHead on the left. I suppose I could shorten it if I wanted to. We haven't really had anybody complaining from LeveLHead about me not being enough on camera yet, so I don't really consider it to be a problem. Anyway, this first level was from Brady's contest, and a lot of these levels are going to be. I would say most of the levels are not very good, but I did beat most of them anyway. Even my level was like not very good. Like, we all could have used some improvements, which we didn't have access to because of the restrictions to the contest. So that jump was actually pretty difficult. I died on it, I think, at least twice. So there's that. This level was pretty interesting. It started off pretty difficult. It gets a little bit easier in the middle where I just died there, believe it or not. We should go ahead and turn the speed to 1.5 times so we can get a better view of the action here. This part was a little bit tricky because I was trying to like edge jump here, or pixel jump, whatever we can call it, and then jump from there to the goal, but that doesn't really work, I don't think. Or if it does, it's very hard to pull off. So eventually I gave up on it and just did what Brady did. Which was do a wall jump off of the thingy. Wait, no, did I clear it a second time? Or was that the first time I cleared it? I was trying to do the wall jump thingy, but okay, actually, I might not have. I think I only cleared it once because what was happening was I was trying to do the wall jump that Icky Brady did, but I kept getting unlucky because the chain chomps would come and try to get me when I was trying to do the wall jump. So I actually decided to go up here instead because I can just sit on the vine patiently while waiting for the chain chomps and the wrench throwers to stop being in my way. So that's what I ended up doing. I think I definitely have less skill than Brady, but despite my lack of general skill, sometimes my puzzle solving ability is better, and so I could still clear tough levels due to that. But yeah, it definitely. I'm not exactly very quick on puzzle solving. I mean, to be honest, maybe he doesn't need to puzzle solve that much just because of his raw skill. But if he did need to, maybe he would just prove to be as good at it as me. Who knows? But anyway, this level was pretty tough. It took me a while to beat it, and I got really annoyed with that particular box that you can get stuck in being right where it was. It was at the most inconvenient spot after the checkpoint. I guess his intention was for the player to just accept that the snake doesn't go very far and just let themselves die to the skewer or otherwise just fall out of the course. I actually tried to grab a power up inside those blocks. It's possible to do, but it's kind of risky because you could end up getting stuck in there. Which I did at least once, which was somewhat annoying, but it was kind of my own fault. But as you can see, it took me quite a while. See, over 10 minutes to beat this level. I don't think it took Brady that long to beat it, though. Because it was still one of the earlier levels, and he'd beat pretty much all of them before 5 minutes until he found my level. Anyway, and then I think he made this one be first place in the contest. He really liked this one a lot. Honestly, I think this one was kind of overrated by him, but at the same time, it still was one of the better courses to play, simply for the fact that it was shorter and just it wasn't a good contest rules in the first place, because the parts that we got were kind of terrible. I liked this one a lot. This one was pretty fun because you get a dream mushroom. It was the only one that had the dream mushroom, so that was neat. It also featured us potentially picking up chain chomps to defeat other chain chomps with, although it wasn't necessary to clear the level. Whereas in this one, which was the sample level which Icky Brady built, it was mandatory. Anyway, as a result, Icky Brady's level was actually one of the hardest ones in the contest, at least for me anyway. it took me quite a while to beat this one. There were some that I gave up on though, but those might have been mostly because they were annoying rather than particularly hard, but I don't really know. But anyway, this one took over 20 minutes, as you can see, for me to beat. So yeah, but we finally got it. 24 minutes in. Then we started doing some viewer levels, it looks like, because some viewers were showing up and wanting to get their levels played. So we had Titan Slayer's level here. I think he sent me his maker code, so I started playing 3D World. I think I only played one or two of his levels, though. He didn't wait around for me to play more. I think I postponed once and he didn't stick around. But anyway, I'm not sure if this was an intended route or not, but it was definitely like sort of a dev exit maybe, but it was like a friendly one because it literally tells the player where the hidden block is with the indicator, so it's not really like a mean one. So anyway, I went ahead and took that path rather than going the harder way. The harder way might have been impossible. I don't know. I'm not sure if it was meant to be a troll level or what. But anyway, then there was this level which I might have skipped because the parachutes were irritating me too much, perhaps. I'm sure. Did I beat this one? This one is tough. Oh no, I definitely beat this one. Yeah. Actually that was actually one of the easier ones. Okay, no, but there was a different parachute one that I think I gave up on that came later. That was really hard. Anyway, it looks like I was looking for another viewer level to play. And then there was this level was garbage. So I was like, nope, we're not playing that. He did say to play the newest one, so let's try it. And it was also trash. It's basically a team precision level. I don't think it's an official team precision level, though. But anyway, you have to do a perfect jump through the clouds, which is not the hardest thing ever, but it is pretty difficult. And then you have to like jump to the spikes and do the downward thrust. So jump to the spikes and do the downward thrust for the perfect like Trump jump or whatever is like not something that's like really within my skill set. I've never been able to successfully do it. And unfortunately, this level doesn't even let you practice it because it forces you to do this lineup jump instead. So, yeah, not a very friendly level. So eventually I did lecture him. He should have a reset door. The door can open up here, and it should be like down here that we go into it. It should be like a key that we can take that's up here. We can jump up to and grab. But no, he didn't do that. So, and because of that, I can't really practice the downward thrust after I get the successful cloud block jump. And I was not very consistent on the cloud block jump, and I was getting really impatient. Maybe I could have been more consistent if I was less impatient, but anyway. Then there was that level, which I don't know how Brady had the patience to beat it, as well as this one. This one was super garbage. This one was the worst level in the contest. I hated this one so much. But the one before that was the one with the chicken song in it, so it irritated me, so I quit mainly for that reason. I went ahead and booed that because it was terrible. Then we went on to play another viewer level. This one was from a viewer that was chatting quite a bit, so I appreciate that. Koji, we'll call him, I guess, for short. They had some big coin, star coin optional challenge levels. So I got like 10 big coins because he sent me like 4 levels. I guess he has more, but I told him we didn't have time for more that day because I had to go play some LeveLHead. I went ahead and left comments. I was demonstrating, filled and unfilled stars, how you could tell the comment other people how many of stars you collected. So if he wants to play my levels, then he could do the same thing by leaving a comment after he plays them. And then there was this level. We went back to the contest levels again, and this one was, I think, my favorite. It's definitely a level that could use some improvement, but they made intelligent use of the vines, of course. I really liked it because it reminds me of like a darkness swimming level. So, my main issue is you can't actually use like a forest or ground tile set and actually make it be dark. It has to be ghost house or water. So vines don't really make a whole lot of sense in a ghost house, like visually speaking. There's kind of like a clashing of like sensibility. Does that make sense? Like, or logicality or whatever. But from a gameplay perspective, it was a good level, and so that's like the important thing, I suppose, when it comes to this contest. So from a gameplay perspective, I think this was the most fun level to play personally. And I didn't really play all that well in general that day. I think that includes when I was playing LeveLHead, but whatever. Anyway, actually, I guess I did pretty good in LeveLHead, sort of. I mean, I'm not very good at LeveLHead, but I mean, as a new player, all things considered, I think I did kind of okay. But yeah, I was probably a little bit rusty on Mario Maker. I've been like a week plus since I played it or something, I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm starting to work on some new Super World content for my new contest. Believe it or not, it took me forever to find the checkpoint, and then when I finally did, I think I might. No, never mind. Yeah, that's when I did. So that was like over 10 minutes in. So yeah, I probably should have found it sooner, but I'm not sure how much sooner. But anyway, I still struggled a bit here and there, but it was still a fun experience. This might have taken me a really long time to beat, actually. I don't know if it took as long as Brady's level, though. Brady's took 24 minutes. Yeah, and this one only took 20, so. Anyway, then we had another one from Zenfulness or Koji. Not sure which they would prefer to be called. So you see us dying a little bit on some levels, but it's mostly because I was like looking for secrets. Because they're pretty easy levels generally. And I went and talked a little bit about some of the games I've been playing. Mostly because the person was saying they don't know much about LeveLHead. And so I was just talking about other platformers I've played, blah, blah, blah. So I wanted to talk about LeveLHead, so I figured I might as well talk about other games at the same time. Because we were planning to stream LeveLHead after this game was over. We had a couple of people, Lex and Ben, I think, lurking while I was playing Mario Maker. But I think eventually Ben left because somebody else started streaming LeveLHead, which is understandable. Anyway, but Lex went ahead and stuck around at least until I could play his newest levels that way, because he hadn't had much streamers, if anybody, play his newest levels. So that was appreciated. So we had this Chain Chomp level was surprisingly challenging, at least I thought so anyway. Like, jumping on that Chain Chomp is a bit tough, but there was like some sensibility to the design. It wasn't as hard as I was thinking it was, so I kind of got to the checkpoint and then missed the jump, embarrassingly enough. So that sucked. And then I struggled to actually get that snake block somehow. Consistently, like I was. Anyway, the snake block was kind of mean. It was pretty wild and fast, but I learned the pattern, and then after I learned the pattern, I struggled to actually jump on it again, which was odd. Anyways, then there was this section. Honestly, this level wasn't so bad. I wasn't a big fan of the wild snakes, though. Oh, no, this one's pattern was harder to memorize, or harder to learn, I guess I should say. This one was a more wild snake than the other one. It was smaller, too. This snake was the one that kind of ruined the level for me in my mind, I think, because it was just really extra mean. Anyway, I eventually made it to the end, and I died to some rocky wrenches, predictably enough. So it ended up taking me over 10 minutes to beat, as you can see, but eventually I got it by before the 14-minute mark. He said it was a 9 out of 10 difficulty for himself, so I guess it took him a while to beat it. I'm not sure what a 10 looks like for him, but anyway. Actually, I was playing more of Sen Dweller's levels, or whatever his name was, Koji's levels. Was it Zen Dweller? Sen Dweller reminds me of Warcraft 3 name. I think it was Zen something else. Wait. Let me take a look. At some point I paused this. Zenfulness. Right, Zenfulness. Not Zen Dweller. Zen Dweller would be like Warcraft 3 reference. That's not his name. Anyway, because that's one of the... Sen Dweller is one of the names of one of the demon hunters. Randomly generated names in the Warcraft 3 game. There's like 15 randomly generated names for like each different hero. I think some of them might have fewer than 15, but it's roughly about how many most of them have, I would say. It was a bit challenging finding the bonuses on this level. I was falling down a lot. Also, I was spamming start over and getting impatient with myself and stuff, and just like, in general, not sure where they were or how many I grabbed or whatever. But yeah, it was still pretty fun. I was like trying to jump off of his bullet, but it wasn't always at the same height and stuff, so that was pretty interesting. We managed to get to the top of the level eventually. But there wasn't anything there, of course, but it was just fun to do, at least, anyway. So that was pretty much it for the Mario Maker 2 highlights. Now we got some LeveLHead highlights. Let's check that out. I only have one highlight from the MTG trash levels. I probably could have made at least one more, like maybe what's his name's trash level was pretty good, I would imagine, but I couldn't figure out where I was within the stream, so I just gave up on trying to highlight it. Anyways, we have Arity's Power Build MTG trash level, so I beat this one, so I was pretty proud of that. So I went ahead and highlighted that. I think there was at least one other level that I honestly thought was a better trash level than this one, but at the same time it wasn't like highlight worthy, so I didn't highlight it, if that makes sense. Because this one actually took me quite a bit of skill of and I'm somewhat proud of, so I decided to highlight it for that reason. It wasn't a bad trash level though, of course. Definitely, I think some of my suggestions, or there might have only been one or two of them in any case. I think I said he needed more enemies at some point. Definitely helped the level feel better. Anyway, I'm not sure why I decided to use LeveLhead down there, but that was entirely his idea. I struggled with these the teleporting monsters because they kept intercepting me as I was making various jumps. So eventually I decided to kill them and then try the jump. But I still kind of struggled with to be consistent on the jump, as you can see there. I kept taking damage, which meant that I only had like 1 HP left. But eventually I got it. Actually, this wasn't the first time I got to here, which is a little bit embarrassing because I remember realizing that you can go underneath them, but it wasn't until this point that I did. Like originally, when I was playing it, I didn't remember from watching them play it. So, but that's kind of fine. It's okay. Like it actually makes it a little bit more interesting if I forget details like that. Anyway, so that ended up taking a little over 10 minutes to beat because I had forgotten stuff. Anyways, also he had been working on it a little bit, also, so I wasn't necessarily paying tons of attention to, so it was easier to forget. Anyway, we have a couple of Lex Limbo levels, so, and I was playing those while I was playing the MTG trash levels, so chronologically speaking, it might make more sense to take a look at these levels, so we should go ahead and do that. I played this level. I think this was the first one of his levels that he submitted for me to play. This one took quite a long time to beat. I think it's mostly because I was trying to do optional challenges, though. This level was pretty relaxing. We had a lot of weird blobfish stuff going on. I'm not sure why he didn't have them move around very much, but sometimes he had them moving on paths, and he also had some of them inside of enclosures, and he had like a hint that they were inside enclosures by making the blobfish fly into the enclosures through paths, which was pretty interesting. That was a pretty cool idea on his part. Just for like hunt down blobfishes to be an evil GR18. I think this was the level that was inspired by the power build, probably. Anyway, it was a pretty interesting level, and then there's this area, which I guess I didn't see anybody do yet, maybe. I'm not sure if Flow Art jumped up there or not, but if so, I wasn't really paying attention during his stream. Anyway, I was doing a little bit of practicing stuff that blah blah blah, trying to make various jumps and whatever. So it's unfortunate that we only had one person submitting levels that day. I would have liked Ben to have stuck around and submitted some levels, but I guess he got tired of me playing too much Mario Maker. Anyway, and then the next level didn't take as long. It was 15 minutes. So this one, actually, part of the reason why this took as long as it did was because it wasn't clear to me how I was supposed to start the level, and so I actually stopped playing it and came back to it. So he explained to me how you were supposed to start the level, because I was just like mashing buttons until I got out of the thing, because there was no visible input switch. Anyway, this was one of the MTG trash levels, or Little Timmy levels, or whatever you want to call it, that Blue Eye asked for. So we might as well show it off a little bit, but anyway, that wasn't the level I was trying to highlight. But yeah, I did eventually beat that level, so I went ahead and left it in the highlight. I could have just made the highlight be only me loading it back up again, but that would be a bit too much work, I suppose. So as you can see, this level is a little bit confusing. I think he put those recyclers in there to sort of like make it look like, I don't know, like make it look like a waterfall, maybe? Like, yeah, maybe that's supposed to look like a waterfall. Yeah, but in any case, it's definitely these purge gate stuff is supposed to look like water. I guess it washes away our ripcord power up. Not sure how that works with the logic, but whatever. Doesn't necessarily have to be water, I guess. Could be something else. It is definitely pretty interesting that he decided to add the recyclers as decoration. Definitely probably a better choice than other means of decoration, I suppose. But anyway. We do see hidden buddies, which doesn't happen very often, but I use them in my levels sometimes, so it's cool to see Lex Limbo use them as well. Anyway, that's enough of that. So then there was the power build highlight. So this one actually, apparently, I played all levels in less than half an hour. I definitely skipped at least one of them, though, just for the record. So at this point, it was getting close to, like, I streamed, like, I think for a little bit over 7 hours that day. So I only streamed for 3 hours LeveLHead. I honestly was planning to stream for more than 3 hours of LeveLHead, but I stopped streaming it because I realized literally nobody was watching after I played Lex's levels. Koji was the only person that hung around. Everyone else left to go watch flow art. So I took note of that. And after I finished the power build, like I said I was going to do, I just stopped streaming. I was planning on playing some more viewer levels if we could get some, or, you know, do like some tower trial stuff, but we didn't have anybody watching, so there wasn't really a point. And this always happens. Like, flow art or somebody else always comes in and streams while I'm streaming, and all my viewers are like, nope, we don't want to watch this noob, let's go watch the guy that actually has skill. And it's sad, but I mean, what can you do? The community has gotten to know those streamers, so they like them more than they like me. There's not really anything I can do about that. Just gotta keep streaming, and eventually they start liking me. Anyway, this was one of the best levels in the contest. It's unclear to me if this person is young or new or both or not, but in any case, they made a pretty good level, which tells a story, and it does fulfill the evil GR18 bonus, or whatever you want to call it, alternate design. So it's like both parts of the power build. And then even like that combination of signs I thought made lots of sense. I thought it was a really cool combination of signs. And then even like the eyeballs was interesting. It reminds me of like angels or demons, like actually noticing what you did. Like a reminder, oh, the spirits know what you did. I did not to beat this precision level, but I plan on doing so eventually at some point. I would like to do it maybe like during a viewer level stream preferably, but I think it's a pretty good level. If it's like in a tower trial, then yeah, I'll try to beat it. I need to get back to, we're going to do another stream soon, probably tomorrow if not tonight, of me playing LeveLHead, because I want to, what day is it today anyway? It is Thursday, just technically my day off, but because I only streamed once this week, maybe I'll stream tonight. Anyway, this was definitely a hard level that I skipped. I technically, I skipped that school level, but that's because actually going both routes, I think there's only 2 routes you can do to clear. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. I could be way off base, but I couldn't figure out how to get to the goal. I'm not sure if part of that was from me watching LeveLHead do really impossible stuff, and so I didn't look for an alternative solution, or what's the deal. But like, I could definitely beat the precision version. It's just it would take a lot of dedication to beat it, I feel like, and I just didn't feel like we had the time to do it when I knew that nobody was watching, because not even Koji was watching anymore. Because he said he was needing to go soon, which sucked because it was like right as we were actually getting to the good levels. But anyway, because he sat around while I was playing all those garbage levels, which probably wasn't the best impression on the game for him, but what can you do? I mean, we would have given a better impression if more people, you know, sent viewer levels, and actually good ones, like Ben, for example, or whoever, but yeah, what can you do? Anyway, so this level was kind of cool too. I didn't do all the stuff that LeveLHead did though, so it might be more worth it to watch LeveLHead play that level. And then there's this level which I just briefly showed off, just to tell people what my submission was to the contest. Here was LeveLHead's level, which I did complete, but I didn't complete his little Timmy level, because that one was horribly annoying. This one was somewhat annoying too, but at least I had the patience to beat it, so... And then there was this level, this was the last one, and this one actually took me quite a while to beat. As you could see, compared to some of the others, it was about 5 minutes or so. but it was pretty fun. This one was another evil GR18 level. I don't think Blue Eyes was, although it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, maybe it was a villainous GR18, but if it was, I'm not really sure what the story was. But all I know is that it involved a rocket. Anyway, in here, these guys are like endangered species or something, and so you're like defeating all the security and exterminating them is the idea. I did leave 2 blobfish alive at the end, although I'm not sure where one of them was, but it might have been inside the purple chest, treasure chest. I'm not sure if that's what was in there or not. And the other one that I left was this big one up there. I did end up having to defeat that small one to clear. See, it says 13 out of 15. Anyway, that was it for this week. Let's see. Oh, as for LeveLHead stuff, I do want to show off real briefly, though, some of the stuff that I came out with off stream. So I haven't really been building on stream because we don't really have anybody watching my stream, generally speaking. So let's see here. We have levels shipped. Let's take a look at this real quick. So so this was my recent uploads, right? So Big Effort Tiptoe Climb was kind of inspired by power builds, I think. I was just trying to make a nice, quick level. Like, so I think I built this in like an hour or so. But it wasn't officially any sort of power build level. This one was also meant to sort of be like a power build inspired level, but it wasn't an official power build level. This one took me a long time to build, though. In contrast, this one had been sitting around in my workshop for a while. So this level was a power build level, and this one was one that was inspired by PK's levels. Not his was probably a power build level at some point, but I really have no way to know. Anyway, it was definitely whatever level it was. He probably didn't spend very long building it, but I'm not sure. But either way, he builds pretty fast. Anyways, yeah, I'm pretty proud of it. It was a pretty small level, and it was meant to be kind of like one of PK's levels, basically, where you just like hunt down batteries and then deliver them to win. Anyway, this was my little Timmy level or whatever. Yeah, and I think it was pretty good for a little Timmy level, but yeah, it's basically garbage. I don't recommend you play it. Then there's this one, which actually is pretty good. I would recommend playing this one, even though it's a really long level. As you can see, 8 minutes clear check time. Could probably improve on that. I mean, I know I died at least a couple of times, but like I would be surprised if somebody could get it under 5 minutes, but it's probably not impossible. Anyway, I'm not sure how long the level is exactly, but you do have to defeat a lot of enemies, so it really depends on how fast you can defeat them, to be honest. Anyway, and then we have this level, which nobody else has beaten yet, which I uploaded this because I realized that we can clone our levels, and somebody had talked about the possibility that I should just make the hardest level in here be its own level, and so I did that. And so I just want to briefly show you how it changed. Because otherwise the only way you could find out is by visiting somebody else's stream and them showing it off. So let's see here, I would need to plug in a controller here, maybe, or can I just use the keyboard? I'm not sure what buttons do what. Oh, apparently spacebars jump. Okay. I can't really do a package hop here, though, without a controller, probably. But anyway, this was the level. And so what I did was, these enclosures are indicated by the wood. I'm not sure how I grabbed the package. Huh. Wait, what button was that? J? Huh. So if you pick this up, then you can actually walk over here. Anyway, if I knew how to do with the keyboard the package chunk, then I can get up there and show you the ending. But the ending is basically just like one gem and the goal, and that's pretty much it. There's nothing really fancy going on in there. And you can actually kill these guys by stepping on the switch and stepping off of it. I'll show you real quick. So this level actually should get cleared sooner or later if somebody's determined enough. But just nobody wants to play it right now. I haven't really spent exposure bucks on it. I'm not sure if I should or not. But I did send it to FlowArt. I think he might be the only streamer I sent it to so far. And he got like halfway through it very fast and just didn't finish the ending. I'm not sure if he ever did on the original. It's possible that he didn't ever beat this level on the original because he got impatient or whatever. But a lot of people were like, maybe they look down on the level because they know that this cheese exists, so that you can kill all these guys, and then you can just safely walk through the level, which is really slow and boring. But of course, that's obviously not what I did. But because this is an option, maybe that's why they don't want to play it. I'm not sure exactly why they don't want to play it, but like I made this course significantly more fair, and he still didn't want to finish the level and beat it, which I thought was pretty interesting. If people are still pretty polite about the fact that they don't like my levels, but I still find it interesting that they don't like my levels pretty consistently, which is unfortunate. But what are you going to do? And I think, unfortunately, them not liking my levels also spills into them not liking me as a streamer or something. I don't know. But I probably should try to make shorter levels. Like, look at this. This is one of my shortest levels, and it still took me over a minute to beat. And people are probably looking down on that. Probably like, okay, well, he's not going to make a short level, then, you know, he's a bad maker, blah, blah, blah. So he doesn't really deserve time or commitment or whatever, I guess might be the reasoning. But it is what it is. People in LeveLHead community like really short levels. So, gotta give them some more short levels, I guess. You're not going to please people with everything you build anyways, especially when you like to make a variety of levels, and that's not really what concerns me. I just feel like my levels in general aren't giving the chance that they deserve, you know? Like that Luai level, that new power build level with the rocket or whatever, I didn't really like it all that much, but I still gave it a chance and beat it. And I feel like people don't do the same for my levels, which sucks. But whatever. Anyway, I guess we're done. It's time to get going, and I think tonight we're going to stream at some point. Some game or another, or multiple games. So stay tuned for that.